They say the forest teaches patience. But what no one expected was that one night the forest would teach patience a lesson. It began on a moon that looked like a pale coin, when the old owl, who everyone called Ori, did something the young animals had never seen. He stopped giving answers. Instead of telling them what to do, Ori handed each of them a small, ridiculous task. "Do this," he said, "and come back tomorrow." That single sentence changed everything. Mira the rabbit sat at the edge of her patch, tears drying on the tips of her whiskers. Her carrots were thin this year. The earth seemed to be refusing her. She had tried every trick she'd heard from older rabbits, talking to the soil, singing at dawn, turning the furrows 3 times clockwise. Nothing worked. When Ori arrived, he tilted his head and listened to her list of failures. He watched the way she clenched her paws and how her shoulders held worry like a heavy coat. "Plant 1 seed," he told her simply, and handed her a single ordinary seed. "Not a dozen, 1. Mira stared. "1 seed won't help the patch." Ori's eyes were calm. "The patch will learn from the seed." So she planted 1 seed. She watered it with the same hands she used to comb her fur. She touched the soil like a promise and went home. The first night she dreamed of roots like tiny hands pushing toward the dark. Pip the bird had been born with a lopsided wing. He learned to hop from branch to branch, but every time he tried to catch the wind, he fell. Others flew above him, their shadows like questions across his chest. Ori gave Pip a leaf. "Carry this leaf to the top of the tall pine. Do not fly, climb. Hold the leaf like a flag." Pip was baffled. To the top of the pine without flying? It sounded impossible. But he climbed small fluttering hops, anxious tiny claws finding footholds. Sometimes he slid and nearly fell. Sometimes a gust threatened to send the leaf spiraling. But he kept moving, the leaf trembling like a living thing between his beak and the sky. When he reached the peak, he planted the leaf on the highest twig and looked out. The land spread below like a quilt. The ache in his wing felt different, now not a failure, but a place that needed its own slow repair. Sufi the squirrel had been rushing for as long as she could remember. She collected 3 times more acorns than any other squirrel, storing more than she could ever eat, running faster than the seasons. It left her breathless and empty. Ori tossed her a small, empty jar. "Fill this jar," he said, "with something you normally throw away." Sufi scoffed at first. "Fill a jar with trash?" She dragged sticks, shells, broken twigs, things she never saved. And then, tentatively, she added a single cracked acorn she usually tossed aside. The weight of it in her paws felt oddly honest. Day after day, she added one thing. A leaf chewed by a beetle, a pebble she thought useless, a feather. When she looked into the jar, she saw a mosaic of things she had dismissed for being imperfect. The jar did not make her wealthier in food, but it taught her to value what she had once thrown away. None of the tasks made immediate sense. Other animals laughed at the tiny seeds and the lone leaf and the jar of scraps. "The owl's gone soft," they said. But Ori never answered the laughter. He watched the small rituals each animal carried like secret prayers. Mira came back to her seed day after day. She sang to it, not for the patch, but for the seed itself. She whispered about small things, the color of morning, the spider who kept the fence straight. Seasons moved in a slow clockwork. Leaves fell and made compost. Rain came in patient visits. Pip practiced the climb until his wings ceased to ache with every attempt. He learned balance, the art of rest, the timing of wind. Sufi discovered how to still her paws long enough to notice the one seed that wanted to sprout where nobody expected a plant. Late one damp morning, Mira found a tiny green tongue breaking the soil. Not a row of carrots, just one stubborn sprout. She cupped it in her paws and laughed like someone who had found a lost song. Pip flew careful, graceful, and landed near Mira, the leaf still pinned high in the pine. Sufi crept close, her jar of useless things clinking softly. For a moment, the three of them watched the sprout shimmer in the weak sun and felt something root in their chests. It was not a harvest. It wasn't a triumph stamped on the earth. It was a beginning that asked for more beginnings. It didn't become easy. The sprout pushed through a dry spell and wilted, and Mira carried water at midnight. Pip's wing refused to catch wind sometimes, and he learned to fold his heart around shame and keep going. Sufi nearly emptied her larder one winter and realized she had to ask for help, and the other squirrels answered. Ori came to each of them at night and spoke one line. Small is the shape of growth. He would wink and sit on his branch like a question mark in the dark. The forest began to change because the animals kept showing up. Showing up is a quiet kind of courage. No banner, no parade, just the stubborn repetition of small acts. Years later, the single seed had become a row of carrots that fed a family. Pip, who once thought the sky a closed door, swooped and sang with a wing that had learned the taste of patience. Sufi's jar of scraps, oddly beautiful, sat in the center of her burrow like a map of what mattered. A cracked acorn that had fed a friend. A useless shell that hid an insect until spring. A pebble that fit perfectly in a child's palm. The other animals stopped laughing. They began to visit. Ori less to learn tricks and more to learn how to keep practicing something that seems small until it becomes everything. One evening, the young rabbit asked Ori, "Why those strange tasks? Why not teach us a faster way?" Ori's feathers ruffled in the golden light. "Faster is often brittle," he said. "Things that rush break. Patience is not slow. It is steady. The world rewards those who keep the rhythm. Dreams don't grow overnight. They grow when you give them 1,000 mornings. Start with one small thing and return tomorrow."